Yo, what's up? Welcome back to NACS. I'm hanging out here at the Rivian R2 Block Party at the new Rivian location in Roslyn, New York, like on Long Island here. And they have the R2s out in a couple colors and a black one inside. So this is gonna be just like a little walk around video. I know I'm late to the party here. There's already a lot of R2 content out on YouTube, as well as other block parties that have already happened around the country. But I'm gonna walk around these cars, just kind of give you some of my first impressions, which, you know, may or may not be different than other people's, but there's a lot of other small YouTube guys here. I saw Jeff Keenan and the EVOG, and then also ran into some fans out here, which was really fun. Fans, that sounds so weird to say, but some people that watch. So if you guys are watching, thanks for saying hi when I first jumped out of the Gravity all disheveled. Okay, off the bat here, one thing about the R2 is I think it's actually a really cool car, and I'm really happy what Rivian's doing with it and coming into this market with a cheaper option. And it might seem counterintuitive to some people. If you can buy something like a Gravity, why would you be shopping in the R2 area? But I was heavily considering the R2 being my Model Y replacement, but I ended up doing the Gravity. So as weird as it sounds, I'm a cross shopper of the R2 and the Gravity. I ended up in the Gravity for many different reasons. Road trip ability with the charging speed, and then the size of the cabin, and then some of that other luxury stuff, which has never been that big of a deal to me. I just kind of fell into it and I'm like, that's fun, I'll do that. But one of the things that turned me off of the R2 is when they lost the ability to have the very front seats fold flat. Because as you've noticed from some of my videos, I like to go and car camp in an EV. I think it's a fun thing to be able to do. And having the Model Y in car camping in it, it was fine, but it was a little tight. So I thought, oh, this R2 is so cool. It's gonna have these front seats that fold down. That solves the camping, the crunch of that size of a vehicle for camping as like a 6'1" guy. And they lost that ability. So then I started to look elsewhere. Gravity without folding the front seats down is bigger. So obviously that's something. I'm a unique case here, but that's kind of my opinion of one of the things that I thought shifted me away from the R2. Obviously, the R2 is a better financial decision, probably across the board, no matter how you cut it. But whatever, we're just out here having fun, and you know, you buy cars for many different reasons, and I'm sure some of you guys will have your reasons to buy an R2. I think it looks great. So let's go check it out together. Okay, getting into the front here of the R2. I have very little time, 2 minutes. We've got digital activated doors, 4 of these, and the main thing in here I want to try is these wheels. Okay. Oh, you know what? I mean, I've heard so much about these. You got your sideways clicks and you got your forward click. These are very cool, and they look like they feel very responsive. I'll tell you right off the bat, I thought they were going to be a little bit of a heavier metal feel. Not knocking it very hard here. It's not, I'm not saying anything real negative, but like they're more of a plastic and sort of light feeling than I expected. Oh yeah, the top of the, you could see it spring back when you hit the top of this menu. This does feel cool. This is a great, the side to side is a little shallow. I'm sure you get used to this. Okay, oh, I put the blinkers on. This is funny, I'm doing all sorts of weird stuff. All right, with a little practice, I bet you get used to these. And I think they seem fun. I like that. Okay, can you guys see this? This is like kind of set to really dark mode right now, but we got nice looking cameras. Screen is very dim. And I know this is pre-production, but it feels good. No, I'm just kind of looking, clicking everything. Yeah. also, this software is not, I know it's not the final, but it feels good. Like for pre-production software, it's snappy. Where was my cameras? Yeah. I wonder how, I'm not familiar with how to turn the brightness up. Okay, this is nice though. Steering wheel feels good. Seat controls down here. I think that, like, I feel very comfortable in here. And you've got your buttons up here and your big roof. And like, these seats are very comfortable. Hey, they got their NACS adapters in here, Rivian branded. Probably Electron. This looks actually a lot like what I got with the Gravity, but just with a Rivian tag. 2 USB-Cs. And big space down here. And then you got your tissue box. Nothing under here except wires. And then how do I do the glove box? Oh, I just pushed it and it, wow, sorry, I did not even shoot that, did I? Just pushed it and it opened. Same with this one, yeah. So we got 2 nice glove boxes and no vents. Everything in here looks good. Do I get to go in the back seat?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the back.
When you hit the back, I'll let the next group come up.
Okay, did I use my 2 minutes?
Probably.
Yeah. I know. It's like I'm going through film and everything.
Yeah, no.
Trying to say everything I could think of quick. Okay, these door handles are actually really nice and smooth the way they open. You almost feel it's like a very smooth feeling. And then into the back seat. The door clunk feels a little funny right now, and it might be the pre-production. But people have noted that the back seat is way bigger than the back seat of the R1S, and you can definitely feel it. It's nice back here. No screen. You got heated seats that don't work in this. Hooks, USB-C, lots of legroom, and nice roof. All-terrain tire. Is the charge port open? This side? Yep, okay, yeah. Then you've got your NACS charge port with your maze in here. Looks a little dirty, but it looks good. Perfect. R2 badge and your nice raised Rivian logo. And then the wiper that everybody talks about. And you get this, this looks very, keeps the boxy shape, but it slopes down a lot here. So it's technically like rounder than it looks. And then you got the 3 buttons here. If you press, it looks like, yeah, press and hold. Press and hold. Windows down. I think this is definitely a fun part of this car. And you can go right in. Looks like they got a twin mattress in here. Let's close it. Like if I press once, will it close it? No. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, I guess you gotta hold it the whole time. Yeah, okay, and if I let go and go back, then it goes the other way, the other way, the other way. So you do have to hold it the whole way currently, it looks like. Let's see here. Where's our button? Above the V. Opens up. Okay. 120, 1900 watts here. That's what that says. So that's actually pretty good. I thought this was rated at 15 from other videos. That's a high-powered household outlet. 180 watt max on the 12 volt. And then you got this mattress here. Is this a mattress that Rivian's, is this like for camping? Sort of like a twin that I guess does the 60 side?
Yeah. Well, we have a connecting piece.
Oh, so it doubles up?
So it doubles up. I just have the one in right now because people keep moving it to try out the second row.
Right. Oh yeah, this is the foam by Hest Rivian. Feels pretty good. Soft. Nice under storage here. This is actually really good. You could fit a lot down there. That's like a whole suitcase. anything else notable. You've got these roof rack things, and then coming along here you can see the side, and you can see the nice big open galley, whatever you want to call that. Galley is not the right word. And then here you have these 3 lines that open that up. I actually feel like I didn't even press that. That was weird. Window wiper fluid, and like a really nice frunk in here with what appears to be an emergency button. I don't know, that turns that light on and off right now. And then when you close this, it does a soft close. If you push a little bit, then it cinches it. Okay, if I press here, let's see what happens. Look, I didn't even need to get to the actual lines. That's funny. And then in comparison, you have the R1S. It's funny because that one's definitely smaller, but it's weirdly hard to tell. You're gonna have a dead giveaway, which is that charge port. You're not gonna get that on the R1S, obviously. One of the other giveaways is there's no emblem on that pillar compared to this pillar right here. So if you're feeling deceived by the size, you can always check for the charge port or that pillar. That's something I'm sort of noticing. I was hanging out here with the EVOG for a little bit, and he made an interesting point about the door handle actuation on these, on the R1. It's like their older design. It's very, very smooth feeling, like on this one. It's almost like you don't have to pull, but you do pull. So this car is looking pretty nice. It's smaller for sure. Like when I come and stand over here, this right now is well, I'm on a slope, but that's at 6'1". That's at my height. But on this one, I could see over the roof. And for comparison, you have the Half Moon Gray color, and then you have the Carolina Cove. I wonder how people will take this. We've got Jeff Keenan standing in line, waiting for this one. But I think this color is really nice. I'm kind of like a not color kind of guy. You might have noticed by a lot of the clothes I wear are not very colorful, but I am into like cool tones. And this is kind of a nice, like a cool tone, bluish, but not highly saturated. I do like the gray though, as well. But I know that gray cars people are getting a little bored with. And then this one, what do you call this, Storm Blue? This one's also nice. It's muted. I do think it would be cool for Rivian to bring back some of those like Compass Yellow, bright colors. Yeah, this one has its, these are also global vehicles, so they have some things for the global market. Rules wise, that's one of them. That's honestly, I can't even remember what that's called. I just know that. But these will be releasing in Europe not too long from now. Something I missed was this.
Yeah, look at the...
And inside here, we have the Black R2. And of course, the whole shop here, I think they got a pretty good turnout. Everybody's hanging out, checking out the new R2. I missed the coffee already, unfortunately. This guy's really mad about that. At the Rivian event here, ran into Jeff Keenan. Yeah. We've been having fun. Yeah. Actually, I'm learning a lot of other things, not Rivian related today, from him, which is cool. But what do you think of the R2?
Pretty nice. I mean, it looks really well put together. Now, I like the back tailgate, the way the glass goes down. That's pretty cool, right?
This is the R1S.
That's the one. I'm looking at this here.
It's like, that's not right.
That wiper is not going to go down. So
they got that.
I like the tailgate. These are pre-production vehicles for sure. There's a little bit of slowdown in the software and stuff, but really nice. The charge port's in the right spot. The Frunk is nice. Looks about the same. It's not powered really. It's just got some struts in there.
Yeah.
You know, that make it look like it's powered, but I guess it's good enough.
It shoots up though automatically, doesn't it?
It's not powered though. It's just got struts
Yeah.
that push it up.
Okay.
So that was interesting. I knew that. And like we were saying before, this one's rear-wheel drive based platform, whereas the R1 is really front-wheel drive. You know, the disconnects on the R1 are on the rear.
Yeah.
On the R2, it's on the front. So. So interesting they did that. That, you know, Tesla's been doing that all along. They have the induction motor up front. It's a freewheel. So they're kind of catching on there. But yeah, it looks really nice put together. I wouldn't mind driving one for sure.
Do you know about, or can you feel in your R1S or T the clunk, the disconnect clunk that I hear about? Because I don't know about that.
We have a quad. The quad doesn't have the clunk because it has clutches, dog clutches on the rear motors. So
is that a Gen 1 quad?
Yeah.
Like, is it a launch edition?
It is. We can go take a video of it if you want.
Oh.
Yeah, you show the tent. So all the quads, Gen 1, I'm pretty sure Gen 2 may have the clutches back there too. Maybe they're a different model. Like
Do you know if the switch up is going to fix that clunk with the R2?
That I don't know. I mean, the axle. So on the Gen 2 R1s that are two motors, dual motor, they have basically that clunks inside the differential, so it's disconnecting inside there, right?
Right.
With the Gen 1 quad, it has clutches on each motor in the back, so it'll only turn those off if you're in eco mode.
Right. Right.
And we never run in eco mode. Like,
okay, so that's what you do.
Yeah, because then it's front wheel drive only, and you'll just burn those front tires. So in the Gen 1 quads, you'd only use that if you really need to make a charger, like you're like really slow, and we never really have to.
Yeah. So I mean, you got a big battery in there.
Yeah, it's got a big battery. I mean, I have used it before, but it's not a good feeling either. A big vehicle like that front wheel drive, you know, it's like you squat and stuff when you're on hills, you know. So I'm glad they switched it over to rear wheel drive. And I heard a couple other things about this, about the low voltage battery. It's still lead acid, but it's under the back seat now instead of the front seat.
Ah, okay.
So the Gen 2 had the low voltage 12 volt lead acid under the front seat. The Gen 1s have dual or single under the front. So they move things around a little bit from the R2. So pretty interesting stuff.
All right, well, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, for sure. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll see what's up next.